Now I admit I haven't had much experience in customer service, just a few jobs. But frankly, you don't need to be there long to realize some of the frustrating ways the public treats you. So I'm gonna go through some of them right now. Let's go. Number 1, don't attack people for stuff that isn't their fault. During the Olympics, I worked at a drink stand in one of the parks. And because of stocking issues we didn't have control over, we never had enough water. And a lot of people would just assume it was our fault and start taking out their frustrations on us. I mean, what do they want? And then, about a week ago, around 10 at night, I was at the station, waiting to catch a train so I could get home. And mine was in about 10 minutes. Wait 10 minutes, no train. I looked up at the board with all the train times on it. It had been cancelled. So I just think, whatever, not that bothered, these things happen. What did bother me was what happened next. I go over to a member of staff on the platform to confirm what's going on. As I finish talking to him, 2 men come up next to me. I mean, I say men. They looked about 17. So when these boys came up, they immediately gave the impression of being middle class, privileged, used to getting what they want. So when the staff told them about the train being cancelled, one of the boys immediately got angry and started repeating, "Unacceptable, unacceptable, unacceptable." I swear if he'd said it one more time, I would have slapped his inheritance out of him. Okay, so I probably wouldn't. I'm not the violent type. What I would have done is written him a strongly worded letter. Okay, so I probably wouldn't. I don't know how to write letters. Where's the send button? What really annoyed me about this situation is that it was essentially a teenager talking down to an adult. I felt so bad for the guy, because he had several people all directing their frustrations at him. He'd probably been on his feet all day and just wanted to finish his shift and get home. I seriously doubt that when little Jimmy was in school and the teacher asked him, "Now what do you want to do when you grow up?" that he responded, "I want to stand at a train station all day taking crap from strangers for stuff that isn't my fault." He's a real person who's just trying to get through the day. Don't make his life any harder than it already is. Which brings me on to point number 2. Don't treat customer service staff like they aren't real people, because they are. A friend of my brother's was working in a shop, and one day, during his lunch break, he went off to a different shop on the hunt for food. While he was browsing, a woman approached him and asked where something was. He said he didn't know. She then got angry and started insulting him, saying he was bad at his job. He then turned to her and informed her that he didn't work there, and she just froze. And I love how my brother tells it, because he says it was at this point she realized, oh, I'm not allowed to treat people like this. I mean, that says it all. Some people seem to have this idea that if someone works in customer service, they somehow lose their human status and can be treated like crap. That's ridiculous. If you wouldn't hurl abuse at a random stranger in the street, don't do it to someone just because they work in the public sector. Number 3, don't be offended if you get ID. Whether that be in bars, cinemas, or off licenses. It's kind of the law. Yes, even in cinemas. Don't be like, "Oh, can I just get a ticket for my 7-year-old son to see this 18? He loved Magic Mike and he just wants to see the sequel." No! You can't. Not because the person behind the counter's on some kind of power trip. No, it's because it's illegal to let someone into a screen who's underage. In the UK, places that sell alcohol have a policy called Challenge 25, where if you look under 25, they have to ID you. There are people in their 30s who look under 25. You don't think I get ID? I've got a chin smoother than Frank Sinatra's voice. Of course I get ID. And you know what I do? I bring my ID. It's not that hard. I don't get offended, and I definitely don't take it out on the person behind the counter who's just fulfilling their legal obligation. Number 4, if you're going to a place where you have to order, make sure you know your order. Don't be that guy who queues for half an hour and gets to the front just to be like, sorry, where am I? And be clear on what you want. A friend of mine used to work in a cinema, and he said people would come in and ask for popcorn, so he'd say, "Alright, will that be salty or sweet?" "Yes." No, I mean, which one? Don't get annoyed if you're vague with your order so the person serving you has to ask a lot of questions. If, for example, someone asks for popcorn, Pepsi, and nachos, that requires a lot of questions. What size popcorn would you like? What flavour? We don't have Pepsi, but would you like Coke? If so, what size? What size nachos would you like? Would you like that as part of a combo? What kind of dip do you want? Yes, it's a hassle, but if they don't ask, they don't know what to give you. Save yourself a lot of time by just being clear from the start. Number 5, don't treat people like vending machines. If someone greets you with, "Hi there, how can I help?" don't respond with, "Food, drink, meat, now. Tarzan, please, go back to the jungle." Jane, in trouble. Try to actually engage with them on a human level. When working with the public all week, it's nice when people are friendly towards you. And you know what? You'll probably get better service this way. Which brings me to my final point. Don't not be nice. Be nice. Sometimes working in the public sector can be a bit depressing, and just one rude customer can impact your entire day. But, likewise, a single pleasant customer can do the same. You, as the consumer, have the power to make or ruin their day. Try and go for the first option. Yeah, because with great power, responsibility. Go home, Spider-Man, you're drunk. Stacy. I was testing some new stuff out in this video, so make sure to leave me a comment telling me what you thought. And if you enjoyed it, subscribe for new videos every Monday. Wondering if these tips really work? You bet my perfectly formed abs they do.
You wouldn't mind being ID'd, would you, Gizmo?
Wait, why are you wearing a Christmas shirt? We're in March now.
You're in March.